Now will we see the magic?
All right, where's Murray? Okay, who is it?
This is Jesus, kid.
Know then that it is the year 10,191.
Yes, we are bored. We're all bored now.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Hello, and welcome to Mary vs. the Movies with your host, Mary Jones.
And Dennis Ling.
And this week, we watched Ellie's Story last week, and I read that Steve Martin kind of made that in response to New York Stories. And I said, well, I've never seen New York Stories, which is not terribly surprising, because even though I'm a fan of, say, Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, whatever, I mean, what is a fan, right? Fine. I've never seen that movie. Why? Because my gut instinct is, do I want to watch an anthology?
Did you see Four Rooms?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm skeptical about anthologies.
It was the Tarantino one was fun. I don't remember any of the others.
Well, there you go. When somebody is the only director, then sometimes it works because you have sort of a unity of vision, right?
Oh, you need to see Night on Earth.
What's that?
That is Jim Jarmusch.
Well, but so that's what I'm saying. Jim Jarmusch already did this with, Mystery Train.
Yeah, well, he did it again. This one's definitely different stories.
But he's good at that,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so Jim Jarmusch can do it. Wes Anderson can do it. Wes Anderson made French Dispatch. He also made a bunch of short films in around 2023, 2024.
The Sugar, Henry Sugar.
Henry Sugar, but it was also the other ones that were all based on Roald Dahl stories.
They were good.
They were fantastic, and that's kind of what I'm saying is, I know Wes Anderson can make a short film, because even before that particular collection, he did the one that plays before Darjeeling Limited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so like he knows how to have a short story be presented on film, but my instinct is usually like, is this going to work, right?
Yeah, eventually we'll do Hal Hartley's Flirt, which is that.
Oh, is it?
It's actually him doing the same story in 3 different settings.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Kind of like Run Lola Run?
Yeah, but this one, it's actually different languages, different cultures.
Okay.
So it's like the exact same story. But,
I see what you're saying. Yeah. But you can treat Run Lola Run not as an anthology, but they have this kind of one thing that happens, and here's like 4 different ways of it turning out, right? My instinct is always a little skeptical of the anthology film, not because I don't think that short stories work or that short films work. They do. But sometimes it just feels like we don't have enough story here.
Is this why we haven't done Creepshow yet?
No, it's because I forgot that Creepshow exists.
Oh.
My initial reticence at watching like anthology films, it's not necessarily fair, and I often contradict myself. But when I hear, it's an anthology film, my first thought is, it's not going to be that good. And I'm often wrong about things. That's the whole point of our show, is that I'm wrong. So I'm kind of excited to watch something and be wrong about it.
Well,
Go ahead.
This isn't our first. We did see Twilight Zone.
But the Twilight Zone is definitely not entirely successful. Now,
Right.
is it?
It's not.
Right? There's a lot that's wrong with the Twilight Zone, up to including the fact that one segment is directed by John Landis, and it results in 3 deaths. 3 actual deaths. Now, here's the reason I bring this up. You're the one who brought up the Twilight Zone, but I was going to bring up the Twilight Zone because here's the thing. One of the movies we're going to watch in this anthology is directed by Woody Allen. Now,
That's the other reason why we haven't watched this.
yeah, it sure is. I have a complicated feeling about Woody Allen because I believe all the accusations against him. Is the man a creep? Yes. He's not just in the Epstein files, he's in the Epstein videos. That guy is not a good person. However, I like a lot of his movies. I don't know how to feel about that. And I can't just go, oh, well, they were made before he did terrible things. Like, you don't know that. Come on. Like, if you go back and watch Manhattan, like, oh, that's incredibly inappropriate. And I haven't even actually, like, Manhattan's a movie that, like, I should do for this show, except I know that he, like, his character in that has a relationship with a 16-year-old. I'm like, no, you don't have a relationship with a 16-year-old if you are not 16 to, let's say, 18, whatever. Like, no, that's inappropriate. Sometimes it goes from inappropriate to criminal. And the reason it's criminal is because you're an adult who has power over that person and should not be in a relationship with them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's leaving aside the other allegations against Woody Allen that, frankly, I think are probably true, right?
What's this?
I can't remember Ronan Farrow's sister's name, but there's allegations there. Yeah. All right. Let's just leave it there.
Yeah.
It's creepy enough that he married Sun Yi. That's a whole thing. I know all about that. The thing is, we've covered other films for this show that were made by bad people. Specifically John Landis.
Yeah.
Everything that Woody Allen has been accused of doing is bad. Is it worse than letting people die because you wanted to make a movie? John Landis killed people.
And he's definitely not sorry about it.
And he's not sorry about it at all. He doesn't care. He
Yeah.
does not care. I don't think Woody Allen cares about the allegations against him, except that he thinks they should be able to keep making movies. Fine. John Landis does not care that anybody knows that he killed people because of his own negligence, because he was being sloppy, because he did not care about the health and well-being of his actors. He killed people in, frankly, what's not even that good of a movie. Like, I'm not saying if you killed people while making a great film, it's okay. But you have to have at least made Chinatown.
Ben-Hur's good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's 300 horses dead good.
Okay, they didn't kill 300 horses.
I think in the first one, though, the 20s or whatever.
No, in the first one, at least a guy died.
Yeah.
One of the stuntmen. Look, the movies are, like a lot of industries, bad. So yeah, I've been avoiding Woody Allen, much like I've been avoiding Mel Gibson. And that's kind of hard given the time period that we're covering. And yeah, I've seen a lot of Woody Allen.
In fact, I think the last movie is our first Mel Gibson image in a movie we've done.
We did LA Story, and there's a joke about people having sex, but they're actually picturing Mel Gibson. And in 1990, not a weird joke.
Yeah.
In 2026, when we're alive, I was going to say 2006 because, my brain is doing that thing where you kind of forget what year it is. If you were picturing Mel Gibson, you go, oh, are you on a list?
Yeah.
You should be on a list.
Yeah.
That's the problem. When you're covering movies, especially, as time goes on and the terrible acts that people do are revealed to the public, you kind of stay, oh, should you end up saying to yourself, should I even be looking at this movie? Should I be enjoying this at all? And I don't have a good answer for that. I don't know that anybody really does. It's down to whatever you're comfortable with watching, whatever you feel comfortable with consuming. I don't consume any Harry Potter stuff. I mean, okay, first of all, I'm an adult, but second of all, yeah, I mean, look, I don't feel comfortable giving J.K. Rowling money because she's using it against the trans community, and that's evil, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to consume any of that stuff. Look, rock music. Oh, do you want to unpack how terrible everybody in rock and roll is? Not really.
So we listened to the history of music or history of rock and roll.
The History of Rock in 500 Songs.
Yeah.
It's a great podcast. It's a very famous podcast. I love it,
Yeah.
but it is a real. Everybody you've enjoyed is terrible except for Pete Seeger, who turns out to be kind of a saint. Which I completely believe. Everything I know about Pete Seeger, dude was mensch. Everyone else,
But
terrible in different ways.
Every episode has a content warning, and
Yeah.
there's sometimes he's just I gotta tell you, Jimmy Page. I don't support anything.
Oh God, no! Look, don't even talk about Jimmy Page, right? Obviously, and like, that show has a lot of nuance. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's very sort of like, look, we just listened to the episode on like Sly Stone, and it's like, look, there's mental illness in here, there's drug addiction going in here. He was not a good person to different people, but you have to kind of like understand like, there's also like other issues going on here, right? And so it's up to you to how you want to feel about this. Like, it's not a Puritan show at all, but it is very forward about, hey, here's the issues involved. And that's what I aspire to. So anyway, we're going to watch a movie that has a Woody Allen segment in it. And I'm just putting it out there. Look, if you don't want to hear about this, if you don't want to listen to this, I completely understand. He's kind of hard to avoid.
Yeah.
Having said that, look, it's not as if like Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola don't have skeletons in their closet. It's not like they don't have histories of being horrible people at times to, say, their partners or people they're working with or people they're making films with, especially Coppola, like not necessarily a great guy, great filmmaker. I love his movies. Martin Scorsese, one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. Probably would never want to be married to that guy. I watched those documentaries, and even something as fawning as the one that was on Apple is just kind of like, yeah, you don't want to be married to this dude.
Yeah, but in both cases, it was drugs.
That doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it okay.
I know.
So, yeah, Woody Allen. There's a Woody Allen thing in here. I'm sorry, guys. It's got to be done at some point. Like, I've been holding off on like covering Woody Allen.
So do you know anything about this?
I know it's 3 different films. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what happens in the films. I don't know who stars in it. I don't know anything else. I just know they're all set in New York. I think at one point I was confusing it with a movie that is built around a Paul Auster story. And I guess that's Smoke.
Well, he has I think it's a trilogy called New York Trilogy.
Yeah, New York Trilogy. I think I was conflating it with like something like Paul Auster had published. So I know it's not that. So I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. Do you think it's modern day?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know that? Like,
nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
like all 3 of those directors, they're happy to, play in the past. So, they could be period pieces, but I have no idea.
Do you think Angry Dad?
There might be an Angry Dad in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, of the 3, like someone.
Or at least a crabby dad.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think they'll go out of their comfort zone? Like, for one thing, they've all done New York stories themselves before.
I'm sorry. Leaving Coppola aside because he's different. Yeah. Who are you talking about, dude?
I know.
Like the only other person I would throw in there is like Spike Lee.
Yeah.
What else you gonna call a New York story?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like when you say go outside of their comfort zone, what do you mean? New Jersey?
That'd be kind of funny. Connecticut.
Yeah. Oh God, no. Okay, I think everybody would be uncomfortable in Connecticut.
So, do you think there's going to be a love triangle on any of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Woody Allen.
Yeah.
I've seen his movies.
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be a death?
Yep.
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Do you think in all 3? Or?
Oh, possibly.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Coppola more than the other 2.
All right. Do you think there's going to be a dog?
Oh.
I don't think there's going to be.
No, I don't think there's going to be a dog.
Not enough time to build up that important dog character.
Exactly. No dogs.
Cool car. No.
Yes.
Oh, you think?
Yes.
Coppola again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude loves cars. Not as much as like George Lucas.
Yeah.
Lucas, there's going to be a cool car.
I know.
Coppola, I go, yeah, there's probably a cool car. The man made Tucker.
What city do you think needs their own stories movie?
Oh, I've had thoughts about this. So, we watched LA Story. We're going to watch New York Stories.
Who got snubbed?
Chicago.
Atlanta?
Atlanta. Ooh,
That'd be a good one.
I like the idea of Atlanta stories.
Yeah.
So, like, we already have a Memphis one because we have Mystery Train.
That's true.
Right? What about
Boston.
Boston stories? Yeah. let's find out if Matt Damon and what's his name actually wrote that script for Good Will Hunting, or if it was really William Goldman.
That's the Boston story.
Yes, that is the Boston story. I'm not trying to rag on Boston. It's a lovely town. We've been there. Ooh, why don't we have a Philly stories?
Yeah.
Who would make Philly stories though?
Oh, Questel.
Huh?
Questel.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can have one segment by Questlove, another segment by M. Night Shyamalan.
Mm-hmm.
We need a third. Who's the third? Me!
Okay.
I'm making Philly stories.
What's your Philly
I
story?
have no idea. Something said at the writing terminal.
Not at what's the bar?
What, Locust Bar?
Yeah, Locust Bar.
Oh my God, I would love to do something at Locust Bar. Locust Bar or Dirty Frank's?
Yeah.
Oh my, why have I not made a film? I should make a movie and I could set it at Dirty Frank's.
Actually, it'd be fun to do a Kurt Weill movie set in like Fairmount Park.
I love the idea of somebody making a Philly Stories anthology.
And contact us if we're missing obvious ones that are actually out there already.
Oh yeah, no, I like the idea of city anthology films.
Yeah.
Denver stories. Denver's the only city out in the Mountain West.
Mm.
It's like that in Salt Lake City, and that's about it. That'd be kind of interesting. Like, I don't know anything about those people.
Yeah.
I've been there, but I don't know anything about them.
What about stories about that Maine shack that we were in?
Which Maine shack? Which shack in Maine, I should put it that way.
The shack with the worst coffee we've ever tasted
Oh,
in our
yeah.
lives.
That'd be kind of great. We'll tell that story someday, but we were in Maine, and it was the worst coffee we ever had, and there was a bear on the loose, and yeah. Fun times. All right, speaking of fun times, shall we go watch this movie?
Sure.
New York, I love you, but you're bringing me down. New York, I love you, but you're bringing me down. Like a death of the heart. Jesus, where do I start? But you're still the one pool.
The opening shot of this,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just only murders in the building, right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, it looks like that opening with the windows of an apartment building.
I guess Steve Martin just keeps responding to this movie. He's like, I wish I made that movie.
You know, who would he have worked with, though?
Well, maybe with Steven Spielberg, who apparently was supposed to direct instead of, I think, Coppola.
What in the hell would he have made?
I don't know.
Steven Spielberg has no connection to New York City. What kind of movie would he make about New York?
I don't know.
No, that's a terrible idea.
It is.
What? No. That man is California through and through. Well, the Southwest. I mean, come on, man.
He's Jersey a little bit. He's a little bit Jersey.
Look, did he live in Camden until he was 10? Sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That guy does not know New York City.
No, he's...
The closest he got... Hey, look, where was War of the Worlds set? Bayonne. He didn't even set in New York.
No.
It's a good movie. But, like, no.
Yeah, that was a movie all about, like, being in the New York area and still avoiding New York.
Right. His next, like, alien movie that's coming out very soon. Was it filmed in New York? No, it was not filmed in New York. It was filmed in New Jersey.
You could have been in it.
They were doing, like, extras and stuff. I just, like, what? I have a job. You know, I can't. I don't have time to be in movies. But look,
People be, hey, that's Mary from Lansdale in the background.
They would not. Oh God.
Imagine telling them, please put my name as Mary from Lansdale.
So no, I can't imagine what Steven Spielberg would have done. Come on. But what we got, instead we get two directors who are closely associated with New York City.
Yep, Wes Anderson.
And Wes Anderson. Yeah. Every section, I was like, well, I mean, this could have been somehow. I mean, the Woody Allen one less, and yet at the same time, there's obviously, some influence there. But yeah, it is funny watching this and just thinking like, well,
like especially that French Dispatch artist.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Dennis, my brain went the same place. You know, not just because it's also an anthology film, but it was all about like so the first film in this anthology is Life Lessons, directed by Martin Scorsese, written by the guy who wrote Clockers, but I'm trying to think of his name, and it's escaping me now. But it's a story set in the New York art scene. That sort of downtown, a lot of lofts, right? Performance artists and like, you know, contemporary artists and stuff. Nick Nolte is middle-aged and he's an established artist, and he has this protege played by Rosanna Arquette, and she is of course young, and there's like that unfortunate sort of, here's a young woman who's working for the artist. Of course, you know, they end up sleeping together, and there's always that question of, you know, does she really want to do that? Not really. You know, that doesn't mean she doesn't have any affections for him, but, you know, it's one of those very complicated and unfortunate situations where he has power and she doesn't.
Yeah, and that's the last shot, and I really thought it was going to go right into Woody Allen after that.
Oh, God.
It's like,
No,
swag away. Example B.
Yeah. No, thankfully it doesn't do that. This is the one story that actually works to me. This one works as a film, and it works as a contained story. And I really like this one. I like the performances. Nick Nolte is great, actually, as that kind of boomer, middle-aged artist. He's just like of this era that's kind of falling apart and dying, and he doesn't really want to believe that his own time is over, and he doesn't see himself as his time being over. He's kind of at the height of his cultural relevance. It's all downhill from here. This other character in here, Steve Buscemi, who is a performance artist, right? And he's much younger. He is sort of this like potential rival for the ingenue's affections, right?
She went on, isn't he the one that she went to Florida with?
Well, yeah, it's a potential rival because, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I rather like this one, right? I like it, but it's so funny watching it, and I just, when it started, and you immediately have Procol Harum's Whiter Shade of Pale, and I went, oh, this is the Scorsese one, right?
Yeah.
Because immediately we're getting hit with like rock music, and there's rock music through the whole thing. You know, it's not just Procol Harum. I mean, he pulls out freaking Bob Dylan and the band doing a live version of like a Rolling Stone in kind of this interesting and pivotal scene of her looking at him as he's painting, and you see like all of her conflicting emotions about having to deal with this guy as both like a mentor, but also like an emotionally abusive relationship of, I don't want to be here with this guy, and I don't even want to be in New York, and do I even want to be an artist? I don't know what I'm doing here. And yet at the same time she's watching what he's doing, and she's like admiring him as an artist and hating him as a person. It's a great scene.
Yeah.
And I think it's so interesting that Scorsese, what music does he choose but the song Like a Rolling Stone? And it you know, the ultimate diss track, right? And so who really is the voice in that moment? Is this her thinking about him, or like is this him thinking about her? Well, it's both of them.
Well, when you're an artist, like you kind of take both roles sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this whole entire segment. One, it is set in that art scene that, like, as a kid, like, I learned about it as it was kind of, like, changing over and in the 80s were ending. But, like, I don't know. I kind of always wanted to be there and wished that I could have seen it myself, right? And so it's kind of fun seeing, like a pale reflection of it here. A very pale reflection. And, you know, at the same time, like, there's also, it reminded me a little bit of a toned down version of The World of After Hours. That is the crazy nighttime version. This is the more realistic. These are artists, and, you know, it's all about him trying to get like his work done because he's going to have this big show.
Like, I've known artists in that area.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about that. I mean, like, they were in a different level than that or something.
Sure.
Yeah, but like I kept thinking about, like, at least the first two movies are just like, this is the New York that these people know because they're rich and they know that these are the people they hang out with.
Okay, we'll get to the rich part later. I mean, you're not wrong about the first one. He's obviously successful. He has gallery showings, openings and stuff, and she's not really there, right?
Yeah.
But even the Buscemi character, he's successful enough that he has a bunch of people coming to his show. These aren't the people who they put on a performance art piece in a basement and there's only 5 people there.
But I feel like these aren't New York stories; these are Manhattan stories.
Oh, that's
All
actually
3.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like if Spike Lee was doing this, it would be New York stories.
Yeah.
It would be very different if he had a segment in here.
Right. This is entirely Manhattan based. Yeah. There is nobody from Brooklyn. There is nobody from Queens. Where's the Bronx? And
it's very much not the New York that you kind of admire. Like you are the 70s dirtbag New York. This is not CBGB's New York at all.
No, but of all of the movies that we just watched, of all the films, the Scorsese one is the one that would know that area best. Mm-hmm. You see Debbie Harry there at one of the gallery showings. Peter Gabriel shows up, and it's just really like it's not commented on that they're there. Yeah. The film doesn't point out, oh, by the way, hey, look, there's Peter Gabriel. He's just there. Because that's
this is Sledgehammer era Peter Gabriel.
No. This is
what year
Last
is this?
Temptation of Christ era.
Oh, okay. So they're just hanging out.
Right, they're just hanging out because he's doing the music for his movie. Not everybody who was living in New York and making art was as successful as this character. Right. But at least you can kind of see where there's a connection. Mm-hmm. Okay. But so anyway, in the end, she ends up leaving him.
But then he finds someone else.
She leaves him. You think he's going to be devastated. Maybe on some level he is upset about it. But then at his gallery showing, there's some young girl who's all starry-eyed and it's just like, oh, I think you're amazing. And well, I have an opening. The cycle's going to continue again because that's kind of just all artists are. Yeah. It's just like, oh.
But the thing is, whatever suffering he's gone through, he's had the cathartic experience of putting it in the painting.
Yeah.
After she leaves and he just looks up at the painting, it's like, oh yeah, that's what I went through that and now it's done.
That's why you shouldn't trust artists.
What? Of course you should trust artists.
No, you should never date artists. You certainly shouldn't marry them. No.
Artists are purveyors of the truth.
Oh God, perverters of the truth.
So Anne didn't like that one, but she liked the next one.
Yeah. I didn't like this one. So the next one is Life Without Zoe. This is a Francis Ford Coppola.
Unfortunately, we don't get to experience that.
Yeah, no, we don't. Okay, so this one feels like a weird kids movie. Look, it's not the worst thing he ever did. Yeah. All right, but it's not good. Coppola, he was working with his daughter at the time. She is still his daughter, but
his so-called daughter.
He wrote this with Sophia Coppola. I'm not sure how old she was when they were writing it. Whenever they were writing this, it's kind of a riff on Eloise, the Eloise books. My name is Eloise. I live at the plaza. It's a little rich girl. Basically, you have this girl, Zoe, and she lives at a big hotel, and she has a butler, played by, I'll have to look up the actor's name, but it's, and you can hear his voice. It's Father Guido Sarducci.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
What's his name? Don Novello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the comedian Don Novello. But he's just talking like Father Guido Sarducci the whole time. It was very weird for watching this.
You know what? Because he wasn't smoking, I didn't recognize him.
Well, that and he wasn't dressed like a priest. But
the smoking, it gives it away more than for me. And the mustache.
But so she lives at this hotel and she has a butler and she's very rich and her parents are split up and her father is a flautist, like a great concert flautist, and I'm not entirely sure what her mother is. Is she like an artist or something? So anyway, they're divorced and they're never around, and she just lives in this hotel and she goes to school with a bunch of other rich girls.
By the way, there is a dog in this one.
There is a dog.
And I have to say, Sophia Coppola's dog is the Monopoly dog.
It is. Yes.
She straight up got the Monopoly dog.
When you say Sophia Coppola, the character is not played by her. The character is not played by Sophia Coppola, but obviously, yes, she wrote this.
Like this feels like a prequel to Lost in Translation.
You have a kind of silly story about there is a kid at her school who's an Arabic prince. There are like missing cufflinks that are stolen from the hotel when there's a robbery, and the leader of the gang of thieves is Chris Elliott. It's like, oh well, at least there's Chris Elliott. So
Somewhere Adrian Brody is in there too. Like,
oh,
I
he's
think
just
it's
like a
the
boy in the background or something. You know, the only reason anybody knows he's there is because he's famous now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scenes of like the kids at their school, and there's this Arabic prince, and these jewels go missing, and she's able to find them and return them to the mother. I didn't follow the story very closely because it didn't make a whole lot of sense. It was just like a weird child's story.
Well, the mother, the princess, she fell in love with her father's flute playing.
Yeah.
And pulled off an earring as an offering and stuff, and then so they had to give it back because the king was
Like jealous
Yeah.
and yeah. As this is all going on, and she is able, I was going to call her Eloise. Zoe is able to figure out how to get the jewel back to the princess. She also conspires to get her parents back together. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Her parents decide to get back together.
Yeah, she's upset about this.
Yeah, for some reason, which I didn't really understand why she would be upset. Did you understand why she was upset?
I don't know. It felt like once the earring is returned, it's like, why are we still here?
Yeah.
You know?
Like the story really runs out of steam.
Yeah.
You know what it felt like to me actually a little bit? You've seen the movie Annie, right?
Yeah.
What would Annie's adventures have been after she was adopted? And that's kind of what this felt like to me.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, just like, well, I'm rich. Now I'm just going to, I don't know, look for jewels, I guess. Sure.
But also on stage, like,
Yeah.
because it's like, this is not a real person.
No.
You know, this is not a real life. This is just, everyone serving
This girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, this girl is the main protagonist of the world, and
Yeah.
everybody loves her, and she finds jewels for Arabic princesses. I don't know. It's
Even
like,
Woody Allen's mother would take care of her.
yeah. So yeah, I mean the Coppola one, I don't know. It was just like a kind of a weird children's movie that I didn't make a whole lot of sense, and I don't know. I could not get into it. And I just kept thinking, we need to tax the rich more.
I kind of liked it just because it was just like no one else could make this movie. Like there's something about Coppola. I don't think he's made some of the greatest films ever, but like
He's also made some of the worst films ever.
yeah, but his failures are like it's weird. I don't know. It's kind of like Dylan. Like
Okay.
when Dylan fails, it's like he's either too maudlin or he's too sugary or something, and there's something kind of inhuman about him. Like he can't relate to humans anymore because of the life he's in.
Yeah.
And I feel like kind of the same with Coppola. He's always trying to do something new, which I admire. I like that. But sometimes it's like he comes off as an alien. You know?
If the first movie was New York and the art scene, right?
Yeah.
This second one is New York from the point of view of rich children.
Yeah.
And that is a real thing. I mean, there's plenty of stuff out there like that. And this is just another version of that, right? But yeah, I didn't like it. I can't even say I didn't like it. I found it tedious. Like I was just kind of like, I don't know. There was just nothing for me to grasp onto.
It surprised me that it's the shortest of all of them. I think the other two are like 40 minutes, and this one's only like 33 minutes.
It felt like an hour.
But like so much stuff happens in it, but
Yeah.
it's like it feels kind of random.
I don't know. I look, you're right. I do appreciate he does these big swings, but that doesn't mean they're always good. Look, I've seen Jack. That's a bad movie.
I haven't seen Jack.
Worse than this. We're not watching Jack.
Okay, that's
all right.
So it's not going to be a dance versus the movie.
No, God, no. Absolutely not.
You know what? This reminded me of Big.
Oh, I think that's really harsh on Big.
No. I just I don't know. There's something about the unrealistic
Yeah.
aspect of it reminded me of Big.
So then the third segment was Oedipus Wrecks, and that's the Woody Allen one. And folks, I'm sorry. I found it really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I will say to some extent, this almost feels like a parody of a Woody Allen film. You know, it starts off with the black screen with the white text and the jazz music, and I'm like, again, it just felt like all of the kind of obvious Woody Allen beats. And of course, it's got Mia Farrow in it, and of course, it's got Julie Kavner in it. Like the casting was just like, well, of course that person's in it.
Larry David.
Larry David is in it.
Looking exactly like Larry David. He's young, and yet he still has the white hair and bald head.
Yeah, he just looked. Yeah, I think he was born that way.
Yeah.
I rather liked this one. It's not the most solid of his movies, but I don't know. I'm sorry, folks. I still think this was when he was still making good films.
Yeah.
And it's a trifle. He is a guy who he is about 50 years old, and he is just lives in fear of his mother. His mother is very smothering.
But it's also it's
stereotypical
also,
Jewish mother.
It's also the classic late century Jewish story of older Jewish guy dates Shiksa, but of course sees reason and dates a nice Jewish girl.
Right. That's where the movie. That's how this whole story ends. Yeah, exactly.
Portnoy's complaint. It's
right.
The whole thing.
Exactly, and. Yeah, so he has this mother played by Mae Questel, which is so interesting to me. I mean, she was still acting at the time. She hadn't died quite yet. Well, obviously not. I mean, they're not dragging her corpse around.
Well, actually, they are.
Well, that's true.
He has a dream where he's actually driving her corpse and she's giving directions. Why do you have to drive so fast?
Again, it's really funny. I'm sorry. Yeah, so his mother is played by Mae Questel, and most people would know her as the voice of Betty Boop and Olive Oil. So yeah, she started off you're going back to 1930.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she had a very long career as a voice actor, but she's also did films and stuff. I mean, the other movie she was doing at the same time of this is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh.
I think that actually was her last film. But so she plays his mother, and yeah, she's a very smothering, you look so thin, you look terrible. Why aren't you eating enough? You're rushing into this marriage with this woman, and she never says it outright, but basically is like, why aren't you dating a Jewish girl? Why are you dating this Irish girl? What Mia Farrow, what's going on here? But that's obviously the subtext. She's already got 3 kids. You don't need any of this.
Those kids might be the spawn of Satan.
Yeah, one of them might be a vampire.
Yeah,
because it's a real little baby Kristen Dunst. He's trying to win over his mother's approval because he's going to get married. So they plan a day out with the whole family, and they take Ma to this magic show with a guy, a very obviously a white guy, donned in Chinese gear.
That was supposed to be Wallace Shawn. I'm really curious how that would have played.
I can't picture that. I mean, yeah, that would have been even weirder. So the guy they got is an actual magician, an actual stage magician, and he basically does one of those tricks where get in the box, we're gonna poke it full of swords, and then you're gonna come out again. And so they put her in the box, and they put the swords in. And if you've been to a magic show, you've seen this trick. And then they, you have this great scene of Woody Allen is watching this, and he's just smiling the whole time watching her getting, poked with the swords. And I mean, again, it's funny. When the trick is done, Mom has disappeared. Where is Mom? And so he's kind of in a panic, oh my God, my mother's gone. But at the same time, wait a minute, my mother's gone.
Yeah. And up to this point, he's been going to therapy and just talking about his mother and
just how, how upset he is about everything, and, all the ways that she ruins his life.
This is the part that actually was a little bit like LA Story in that there was skits.
Yes.
Typical Woody Allen type skits in the middle of the film. I was like, oh, this is the Steve Martin part.
Some time goes by where she's just gone. She's, they gets a detective to go look for her, and nothing comes up. And he kind of goes on with his life. And he's just like, hey, I'm getting married. This is going to be fine. And then all of a sudden,
having great sex.
He's having great sex with
People
Mia
are
Farrow.
smiling at him when
Yeah.
they see him.
Exactly. And then, one day, his mother is in the sky. A giant mom up in the sky looking down over New York and talking about her son. And just being the smothering mother, but ever-present, inescapable, ethereal, like a god looking down upon him and judging him. And
she's talking with all of New York, and they're all talking back to her, and
then they're all making fun of him.
yeah,
You know.
he was a bedwetter, you know.
You know, exactly. They're like, "Hey, are you you eating well? You look terrible." And everybody's just stopping him on the street the whole time. So, now it's just like, "Oh my God, what do we do? How do I get rid of my mother from this situation? Because I'm supposed to like get on with my life, and now I can't." And meanwhile, his relationship to his girlfriend falls apart, Mia Farrow, and he contracts with a psychic.
Yeah, his therapist recommends her.
Yeah. So he goes to this psychic played by Julie Kavner, and nothing works in terms of like dealing with mom. Mom is still up in the sky. Mom's not going anywhere.
The first thing she says when she sees him is like, "You look terrible."
Yeah.
So it's like right away you could see where it's going.
Yes, exactly. and so essentially, like she's not able to do anything about his mother being up in the sky, and she can't get rid of the spirit. But instead, they end up kind of becoming a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mia Farrow takes the kids and leaves him, and instead he ends up dating her. And so he goes to his mother up in the sky and says, "Guess what? We're getting married." And that's enough for her to come out of the sky and back down to earth.
Yeah.
Because he's finally dating a nice Jewish girl. Yeah. Funnily enough, of course, is Julie Kavner, who is also famous as a cartoon character, voice. She is, of course, Marge Simpson, and her sisters Patty and Selma.
It's like a Betty Boop approving of Marge Simpson.
That's literally what this is. That's exactly what this is. And she was already playing Marge at this time. It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Look, it's a silly story.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like a parody of.
It's like he was funny in the 70s, but Betty Boop and The Simpsons will outlive you.
That might actually be true.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is New York Stories. Like this is the New York of, as you brought up what Portnoy's Complaint was his name, Philip Roth.
Yeah.
It's that very again, it's Woody Allen, it's Jewish, it's Jewish humor, it's that whole thing. Is this a totality of views of New York? Obviously not. No. It doesn't say this is the only stories of New York. These are just some New York stories. I would love to
this
see
isn't Naked City or anything.
Oh no! Oh God, no! Now that the Naked City. Now that's a hell of a movie.
It's a great movie.
As you said, it would be nice to have some more diversity of opinions, or just locales, or just economic situation. I mean, think about the New York of the guys in Stranger Than Paradise. It's a very different New York. I don't know. I just, for what it is, I don't know. I rather enjoyed it. Anthology films are not for everybody, and they're not always successful. And this is a very uneven film.
How does this compare to New York, New York?
I mean, they're not the same at all.
I don't know. I mean, they're both kind of love letters in a way to New York.
And they both have a director in common.
Yeah.
But I think this is trying to like at least give several different ideas of, and again, they're very constrained ideas by who's making them. But this feels more like it's trying to do a little bit more than New York, New York. New York is more a movie about a certain time period.
Yeah.
And that's also a movie about big Hollywood musicals. It's a movie kind of about Judy Garland.
I think New York, New York is specifically trying to engage older films.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like all three directors are trying to communicate some personal experience.
Or something very contemporary, definitely. But yeah, personal experience, I think you're right.
Like all three, there's, Woody Allen doesn't have much else to say about New York.
Yeah.
But like like Radio Days is, like he's already gone into his family, but I think this time he's like just going for the mother.
Yeah.
It's just taking everything and just picking one thing.
Yeah.
And focusing on that to get comedy out of it.
And, for Coppola, this was him writing a story with his daughter and setting it in this kind of child's fairy tale of New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, for Scorsese, it was more, this is the art scene, probably closer to like people maybe he, knew.
Probably people he hangs out with
Exactly.
in New York and
Yeah.
who's the one he interviews? That one special, it's him and
Fran Lebowitz.
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
they would have been at one of these like galas.
Exactly. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she was walking around in the background.
Yeah.
Look, I kind of think the anthology is an underutilized medium, and I think we should embrace short films more. I think streaming kind of helps with that. So that you actually don't even have to put them in an anthology like this. You can just watch a short film on a streaming service. You can watch something on Netflix or Apple TV or whatever.
Watch a Maya Deren film.
So that was New York Stories. With, well, I don't know. How should we do this? Starring, I guess, let's see, Nick Nolte, Rosanna Arquette, Steve Buscemi.
She was great, by the way.
Oh, of course she was great.
Yeah.
That was in Life Lessons.
Yeah.
Life Without Zoe starred...
Chris Elliott.
Yeah, right. Heather McComb. Talia Shire is in it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She plays the mother. That's true. Don Novello. Yeah, there is actually a Coppola another Coppola in here, like playing baby Zoe, Gia Coppola. And then Oedipus Wrecks, of course, is with Woody Allen, Mia Farrow, Mae Ketzel, Julie Kavner.
Oh, Kid Creole did the music for...
That's right, for the Life Without Zoe
Yeah.
segment, and that's that all the music there is Kid Creole. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Written by... Who wrote each thing? Richard Price is his name. That's right. Richard Price wrote the Life Lessons, and of course, Woody Allen wrote Oedipus Wrecks. Francis Ford Coppola and Sophia Coppola wrote Life Without Zoe. And do I have to go over the directors? No, we've already talked about that. So anyway, all right. Directed. Okay, so. You, of course, can follow us on social media. We are Mary vs. Movies on all of your major platforms. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. We're all over the place. You can always go to our website, maryvsmovies.com, to get all that information. We're on all your major platforms. You can rate and review the show. It'd be nice if you did. We have a Patreon to help support the show because we are not on a network. We do not have ads. This is just a labor of love on our part. So if you want to help pay for that, because it does cost money to make this show, we have to pay for the server that hosts the show. We have to pay for the Zoom account. We have to pay for a whole bunch of stuff. We, of course, can join patreon.com/MaryVSMovies. And if you do that, you will get access to our whole other show, Hollywood Avalon, where we watch our theory in movies. We watch, things like Excalibur and Indiana Jones' Last Crusade.
Adventures of Sir Lancelot.
The Adventures of Sir Lancelot, the TV show from the 1950s. We've watched some episodes of that Merlin TV show with the teenagers. Yeah, that's right. Everybody's mad at me when I talk about it that way. I don't care. Yeah, so...
But the other one's got Ian Chesterton. You should really look it up.
Yeah, actually...
It's fun. It's a solid show.
Yeah, the one from the 1950s is actually kind of neat. And a lot of writers on it were on the blacklist, so that's kind of interesting. So yeah, if you want to hear that show, Hollywood Avalon, then sign up for the Patreon. Patreon.com/MaryVSMovies.
Next one will be a movie.
Yeah, the next one will be a movie. Yeah, we watched a TV show last time because we were running out of time. But anyway, all right. I don't know what our next movie might be with a guest. So that'll be Nausicaa of the Wind.
Oh, okay.
Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
Yeah.
And we will have a guest for that.
Cool.
So that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, I think that's about it then. So until next time.
I get really bored with spending money.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
Bye.